Well, my name is Ken Schwartz, and what I'm going to be doing is introducing one of the Nubatama stones. This is the 60 grit, extremely coarse stone, 60 grit Nubatama. It's in the Ume or Plum series. As you can see, it's a very large brick, and I'm going to try to do a couple of things. The first thing I'm going to do is to repair a tip. So I'm using a Maestro, and I've purposefully dulled the tip so that I can demonstrate a repair. And you can see, if you look close up, that, let me see if I can focus in a little. Okay, if you look closely at it, you'll see that, in fact, it's a rather dull tip. I don't know if that's showing too well, but maybe this, especially for the knucklehead video crowd out there who would love to see this sort of thing, you can see that it's dull, 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 dull. So anyhow, we're going to get an introduction to the stone together, and in addition, I'm going to demonstrate its additional utility as a stone flattener and for establishing some initial bevels. So here's another knife. This has been ground on an extremely coarse grinding wheel. It's uneven, it's sort of a messed up bevel. So we're going to re-establish this and turn it into the beginnings of an edge. So here we go. The stone's never been used, so I suspect it's going to be porous and require some soaking, but rather than soaking, I'm going to demonstrate another little useful technique that I use for soaker stones so I don't have to soak them. So here we go. I'm going to turn on the water supply here and start soaking the stone. Let's see how it goes. So initially, give it a quick wet and see how long. Okay, it goes right through. So we know this is going to be a very porous stone. So here we go. And we're going to let it soak a little while longer and take another look. Okay, it's sticking around a little bit here, but I suspect it's going to dry up fairly soon. So we're getting there, but what I'm going to do to save some time for this video is turn the water down fairly low and just set this up in such a way that it gets a continuous drip on most of the stone, and that should keep things wet enough for our uses. So here we go, and what we're going to do is do this tip repair on the knife, and I don't know if you can see this any better in the distance, but again, it's very dull, and what we don't do with a tip repair is you don't touch this edge. You take it all off of here. So what we're going to do is draw it across here, and not just right at the very tip, but to continue the profile in a smooth shape, we're going to take it off. So let's see how it works. And as you can see, this continuous drip allows us to keep the stone wet without soaking it forever and having tubs floating around and growing fungus and all these things that continuous soakers like to do. So here we go. And so we'll start off touching it right about there and bring it back like that and repeat this a number of times. Okay, so already you can tell by the sound that this is quite a coarse stone, and I'll periodically take a break to take a look at it and see how the tip is shaping. And well, guess what, gang? Do a couple more strokes for good luck, and we are done. We have a sharp tip. Just that quick. Now, some of you home cooks who don't wind up repairing things too often won't necessarily find this very useful, but certainly pro sharpeners or people who wind up getting the knives from hell that need serious work, this is a stone to seriously consider. So we can see that it's mostly absorbed the water all the way through, so the surface is moist but not soaking. Still very useful. We have some grit on the surface. I would certainly give this already, for this limited function that we've used it for, an A+ for quick tip repairs. So, one down. Now let's try a couple more things. Again, we'll give it a little more water. And you can see that now it takes longer because it's already got a little water in there. We'll set up that water drip on the stone. Okay. And again, you know, there's no reason to sit around all day waiting for a stone to soak. This way you can get it done now. So here we go. I'm going to start putting a little bit of an edge on this knife. Fairly coarse angle, about here. And let's see how we go. So definitely a lot of feedback, which is not surprising. Not getting any piles of grit building up, so it's not a stone that's going to be dishing like, let's say, the Nanawa Lobster series or several other coarse grit stones that just sort of disappear on you as you use them. Okay, so let's take a look at this edge. So we have pretty much gotten rid of most of the previous rough grind marks on there. And again, it's not the end of the world for the stone to go a little on the dry side. Okay, that's pretty well cleaned up the mess that we had on there to begin with. Okay, now I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so let's take a look at this. Okay, very nice, coarse, consistent edge. I have a burr on this side. Nothing over here, which is the last side that I sharpened on. Here's another little helpful trick. If you have a burr, don't be wasting your time with all these deburring solutions. Simply take the knife and with gentle pressure go laterally across the stone like this a few times. Okay? What this does is it grinds the burr off on the side that it was on. And voila, no burr. Okay, again on the other side. Okay, again over here. And we have what is a passable edge. It's a 60 grit stone, so it's a passable edge. So again, it's quick. I'm not getting a bunch of slurry all over the place, a big pile of mess. So its forte is speed, and it's maintaining flatness easily, better than some of the other stones that are out there, and there are just very few in a coarse 60 grit. There we go on that. Now, I want to demonstrate another one of the functions that you can use this stone for, flattening. And so here I'm going to take, this is a Shapton 15,000 grit stone, and as you can see, it didn't come very smooth right over here. And so we're going to use this now as a stone flattener. Now, realize that a 15,000 grit mud on a 60 grit stone is not going to affect its sharpening abilities, and its porosity now becomes an advantage. So here we go, and okay, immediately you can see it's removing stone. Okay, and we are flat, and I'll trim the edges. It's just a stroke or two. So we're good to go. And because it's so coarse of a stone, those grit particles are not going to be contaminating the fine matrix of the stone, and we have a good stone. Clean. One more time. Here's a 8,000 grit stone. This time it's been dented in instead of dented out. You can see that the grit removes pretty easily. And here we go on this one. All right. Done. A little touch up on the two sides. And we now have a perfectly serviceable, cleaned up edge on here. Just that quick. So, yeah, for those of you who are into knife sharpening and need something fast and versatile, this one's the one. There's nothing out there that really touches it. You're not going to find a coarse stone that does this kind of work this quickly, that dishes so slowly. The amount of mud that gets generated is negligible, so I expect a stone this size, even for a serious sharpener doing a lot of hard grinding, to be a long-term investment. Thank you very much, and appreciate your time. Again, Ken Schwartz, Precise Knife Sharpening. You'll also find these stones available at Chef's Knives to Go. This is the Nanawa. This is the Nubatama, and just to look at it, that's a Nubatama, and that's the Plum series or Ume, and that's a 60 grit stone. You'll find these on Chef Knives to Go, immediately available. Thank you very much.